So today I'm going to be talking about who I think will end 2024 as a champion. Let's get started. So for flyweight division, I think Pantoja is going to end this year as champion. I think he beats almost everybody in the division. Everybody that's fighting for a title this year, or he will fight for a title this year, I think he beats them. I think he beats Moreno again. They fought 3 times. Pantoja has beat him all 3 times. I get the last fight was a very close fight, but Pantoja kind of has his number right now. I wouldn't be super surprised if Moreno won, but I would still pick Pantoja. That's a safe pick because he's already beaten him 3 times. Kepe, Pantoja has beaten him before, but Kepe has improved a lot since then. But so has Pantoja. I like Kepe a lot. I think Kepe is a great fighter, but I just think Pantoja beats him again. Pantoja is very well rounded. He's got great grappling. I think he can just probably win a decision against Kepe. Brandon Marvel, if they fight again, I think Pantoja definitely beats him again. Who else is there? Amir Albazi. I think Pantoja definitely beats Amir Albazi. I don't think any of these guys beat him, and he's probably going to end up fighting Moreno again, and then maybe Kepe. Um, Makayev is another guy in that division, but I don't think he's going to get a title shot this year. And even if he does, he's young. He's a lot of holes in his game. I think Pantoja can beat him. I think in the future, maybe a year or two down the line, give Makayev some more fights, have him fight some top level guys, go through some adversity, beat them, which he already has gone through adversity, but have him go through a little bit more, work his way up to the top. Maybe he'll beat a Pantoja, but I just don't see him anytime this year getting to fight for that title and beating Pantoja. I just don't see it happening. I feel like Pantoja beats everyone in this division right now. Merab, I think Sean O'Malley is definitely going to beat Chito Vera. Um, I know that Chito Vera has a good gas tank and O'Malley gassed out in the Peter Yan fight. But, I mean, come on. How can you pick Peter Yan when he just struggled against Pedro Munez and Sean O'Malley just knocked out arguably the greatest bantamweight of all time? I get styles make fights and all that, but I'm definitely picking Sean O'Malley to beat Chito Vera. That's my point. But Merab, his pace is nonstop. This guy will never get off of you, and I think he's just going to keep shooting at O'Malley. And maybe O'Malley will defend a couple, but I think as the fight goes on, Merab's going to take over. I think he'll win a decision, and I think he'll win a pretty clear decision. But O'Malley, honestly, he might be one of the most likely guys to beat Merab because he's a sniper, and I think that's one of the ways you can beat Merab is just by sniping him and catching him. Because this guy's never going to stop. He's never going to let go of you. He's never going to stop throwing punches or shooting takedowns. So you're going to have to do something to get him off of you. And all you could really do is catch him in a submission, which O'Malley's definitely not doing. Or you knock him out, which O'Malley definitely could do. But I think most likely Merab wins the fight. Probably like a 60-40 Merab fight. And I think O'Malley will end up beating Chito. Merab will end up beating Cejudo. And I think they'll fight probably around September time. I think Merab beats him and then maybe fights in like January or February of 2025, but that's besides the point because if he beats him in September, he's going to have that belt in 2025, going into 2025. So I think Merab will probably end the year as champion. I think Volk will end the year as champion. I really do. I feel like Volk beats Ilya. I know it's a very risky pick. Volk coming off the knockout loss. Ilya has a lot of power, and Ilya's up and coming. He's hungry. He's young, but man, I just think Volk's going to take him to school. I think Volk. People are starting to underrate him. People are forgetting who this guy is. This guy put up a very competitive fight against Islam in their first fight. He just beat Yair Rodriguez, who a lot of people were saying the same things about Volk losing. He just came off a loss. Yair's going to beat him. But then he went out there and smoked Yair. I think he's going to find a way to beat Ilya, and I think he's going to show some levels in this fight. Yeah, so I think he's going to show levels in this fight. I think it will be competitive, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ilya won. But if I had to pick, I'm going with Volk. And then if Volk beats Ilya, he proved he's still there. He's probably going to fight Moscar next. I mean, if you're looking at the division, Moscar's number 5. He just beat Arnold Allen. There's not really anyone else for Volk to fight. He already beat Max twice, and Max fighting Gaethje anyway. Who's number 2? He already beat Yair. He already beat Ortega. He already would have beaten Ilya. And the next person in line will be Moscar, and I think he beats Moscar. So yeah, I think that's how he'll end off the year. I think he'll get another 2 defenses, and I think he'll still be champ. Now he does have a very tough task in front of him with his Ilya, but I'm leaning right now towards Volk. I think Volk will get it done, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ilya won. So Ilya definitely could end the year as champion because I feel like if Ilya wins, he'll definitely keep that belt. For 155 lightweight, I think Islam's definitely gonna keep that belt. Islam's damn near unbeatable. This is as close as you can get to unbeatable. He's great on the feet. He just knocked out Volk, who I was just praising on the feet, head kicked him, and he's great on the ground. This guy's a great grappler. He's great everywhere. I don't think Oliveira beats him. He already beat Oliveira, which I know fights can change, but if Islam figures you out, he beats you, I don't think you're ever beating him again, or you're ever doing better than you did in the first fight again. I think it honestly will get worse in a second fight against Charles. I think he beats Arman definitely. Islam will beat Arman. Arman's just a worse version of Islam, so I think Islam smokes him. Who else is there? There's Gaethje. I think Islam could definitely take down, submit Gaethje, and I think he could even have a little bit of success on the feet. He shouldn't get carried away because Gaethje has a lot of power. He could catch him, or maybe he could throw a head kick or something. So he shouldn't get carried away on the feet with Gaethje. But I think he could find a little bit of success and then shoot a takedown, get him down. I think you submit him, and he beats Charles again. He beats Arman. Um, he beats Poirier. He beats Gamrot. I think he beats everyone in that division. I don't think anyone can beat him. The closest maybe is Charles, because I think Charles is second best in that division. But Islam already has his number, man. And once Islam has your number, it's only gonna get worse from there. It's not gonna get any better than the first fight. So, yeah, I think Islam will definitely end this year as champion. For welterweight, I think Shavkat won the year's champion. I do see Leon probably beating Bilal. Now, I wouldn't be super surprised if Bilal won, but either way, I think Shavkat probably beats both of them, and I think Leon, maybe he'll fight Bilal in UFC 300. I hope not. That's not really a UFC 300 type of fight. It's probably going to be a little bit boring. But I think Leon will beat Bilal probably by a fucking 48-47 boring decision. And then I think Shavkat will finish him at the end of the year. Maybe Shavkat will have another fight in summer. If Shavkat does fight Usman, I think that's a risky fight for Shavkat. But if that doesn't happen, maybe Shavkat will just sit out and fight the winner of Leon Bilal, and I think he beats them. Shavkat's super well-rounded. He's good on the feet. He's good on the ground. He has great submissions. And Leon, I think, is beatable. I think Leon's a beatable fighter. I know he's on a great stretch of wins. He just beat Usman twice. He beat Colby. But, man, I think Colby was a little washed going into that fight. What was it? Almost a 2-year layoff? He wasn't really even doing anything in the first 3 rounds. And then once he turned up the pace, I think he beat Leon in those last 2 rounds. I think Leon only beat a washed Colby by 1 point. In the Usman fight, the first one, he was getting dominated, then he caught him. Second fight, I can't really say much there. I know he cheated a little bit, but either way, he probably would have won. And he adjusted well in that fight. So, yeah, I got to give Leon his credit, but I think Shavkat beats him. Sean Strickland, this might be a little bit of a hot take, but I think Dricus is probably going to fight Adesanya, and I think stylistically Adesanya beats Dricus, and then I think Strickland will probably have another fight, maybe against Khamzat or Cannonier. Most likely Cannonier, but I could actually see Strickland beating Khamzat. I wouldn't be super surprised if Khamzat doesn't work on his cardio, and Strickland's able to survive the first 1 or 2 rounds, and it's a 5-round fight. He probably beats Khamzat, and then also, I think he probably beats Jared Cannonier in a rematch. So I think Strickland beats somebody else, earns himself a title shot. Izzy beats Dricus, because that's a fight that they're probably going to go with, and then I think Strickland would be able to beat Izzy in a rematch. Even if Izzy's able to beat Dricus, I think it's just a styles make fights things. Izzy's a great counterpuncher. He probably just catches Dricus, but I don't see anything changing if he fights Strickland again. So I think Izzy's going to beat Dricus. Strickland's going to beat somebody else. Izzy and Strickland are going to fight near the end of the year. I think Strickland beats him, and I think Strickland ends off the year as champion. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe Dricus fights Khamzat and loses, or maybe Dricus fights Strickland again and then beats him again. There's a lot of possibilities, but I think this might be the most possible one. There's a lot with this division. This is hard to pick. I could have picked Adesanya. I could have even stayed with Dricus. I could have picked Khamzat. There was a lot of picks, but I just feel like Strickland is the most likely, based off of what I just said, because that's most likely what will happen. And I think Strickland would win his next 2 matchups. Magomed Ankalaev. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Alex Pereira stayed as champion. I think it's honestly 50-50. But Pereira is a very active fighter. I mean, maybe he'll be fighting Izzy in a trilogy, and then he'll have to fight Hill. So maybe he won't get to Ankalaev this year, but Izzy's probably fighting Dricus, and that means that Pereira is going to fight Hill, and then I think at the end of the year, Pereira will fight Ankalaev. And I know Pereira has great leg kicks, which will give Ankalaev a lot of problems. So I wouldn't be surprised if Pereira beat Ankalaev. He could possibly beat him, but I think Ankalaev probably beats Pereira. Because the grappling, man, Pereira's never fought anybody near the level of grappling as Magomed Ankalaev. He got taken down by Izzy. He got taken down by Jan multiple times. He also got taken down by Yuri. And I think Magomed could just wrestle fuck him and maybe even submit him or ground and pound him. But Pereira could, if he can keep it on the feet for long enough, he could snap fucking Magomed's legs in half. I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. But I think most likely Pereira beats Hill and Magomed waits till the end of the year, and then Pereira and Magomed fight, and Magomed probably beats him. So I think most likely Magomed will end as champion, but I wouldn't be surprised if Pereira keeps his belt, because Pereira's a great fighter. I think Tom Aspinall ends this year's champion. I think Jon Jones ends up fighting Stipe. Maybe Tom Aspinall fights a couple more contenders defending his interim belt. I highly doubt Jon Jones fights Aspinall. But I think Jon Jones will fight Stipe before the end of the year. I hope so. And then he'll vacate his belt, and Tom Aspinall will be promoted to the main champion. So yeah, I don't see him beating Jon Jones. I don't see them even fighting. I think that Tom Aspinall is probably just going to beat up a couple contenders or just sit out and wait and get promoted to the champion. I think Jon Jones is just going to beat Stipe, and then he's going to retire, and then Tom Aspinall is going to get it promoted. I don't think he's going to beat Jon Jones. I mean, if they fight, I don't know who would win. I might edge Aspinall, but I don't think they are going to fight. I think Jon Jones is going to retire, and they're going to give Stipe the championship. So let me know what you guys think of these picks. Put in the comments below if you think anything different, if you think they're dumb, if you think they're wrong, and like, comment, subscribe, all that.